Namaskar, good evening, and welcome back to our channel, VLSI for All, a hub for technical education and an epicenter for affordable VLSI coaching in India. Today, we are indeed proud and honored to have with us Mr. Divyam Tayal, an exemplary industrialist with hands-on experience in the field of VLSI industry. Before we jump into the interview, let me have the privilege of introducing him in more detail. Divyam completed his bachelor's in electrical electronics and communication engineering from Jamia Millia Islamia and went on to pursue his master's in VLSI and microelectronics at the prestigious IIT Hyderabad. Along with that, Divyam was also an intern at IIC Bangalore for 3 months, a research assistant at IIT Hyderabad for almost 3 years before getting placed at NVIDIA as an ASIC engineer. Currently, Divyam is a design engineer at one of the world's top semiconductor industry company, the TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. So, sir, can we start the questions with your kind permission?
Yeah, sure. Just one pointer, Anurag. So it's Divyam.
Divyam. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, that's okay. No problem. Yeah.
So the first question, what was your motivation for giving GATE, the preparation skills, the GATE preparation technique, everything related to the GATE preparation and time? Could you please elaborate on that?
Okay. All right. So I remember I was in second year and I started preparing for GATE from that time. And the motivation behind the preparation of GATE was higher studies. And I was motivated enough to go for masters for sure. And I definitely wanted to do that. And the motivation to do GATE was to do masters from any prestigious institute from India. And yeah, so one of the motivation was that, and another is to learn more about VLSI. That was definitely second thing, I would say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can I get know the GATE score and rank, sir?
Okay. I'm not very sure about my score right now, and I don't remember because it's four and a half years. I think it was around something around like 600, score around 600.
Wow.
And rank something like 1000 something. So I could get I was RA at IIT Hyderabad, so I had to give a written test as well as an interview for getting into the RA program at IIT Hyderabad at that time. And you asked me a question regarding the preparation for GATE. So
yes, sir.
I have joined while I was doing my bachelor's, I joined Made Easy. I think you might be aware about it. It's
yes,
a coaching institute for GATE preparation. And then after that, I actually, till third year, I had that coaching and then pretty much self-study. And after, yeah, so that's how it is. And in 2018, I graduated from my Jamia Islam University. And then I joined IIT Hyderabad. The preparation wise, I would say I actually always liked devices and analog and VLSI aspects of electronics and communication. So I focused on my strengths, and there were few weaknesses as well. So yeah, that's how it was. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you please elaborate on the curriculum difference, environment, the study profile at IIT Hyderabad and your previous alma mater at the Jamia Millia Islamia? Like what is the difference that made IIT and Jamia Millia?
So according to my understanding, this can go very differently from different perspectives and for different people. So according to my understanding, I actually have pretty much a privilege to be in Delhi. So Jamia was really very good. It was a good university and I had a very good amount of time to self-study. So Jamia, the theoretical knowledge, I had good grasp on theoretical knowledge, though practical aspects of the same thing was not really available because of the lacunas, and I would say because everything was not really readily available to the university. So I was not very well versed with all the practical aspects of VLSI or electronics, for that matter of fact. But at IIT, the best part is even if in any course, we will have definitely a project. So what happens in a project is while doing the coursework, we also have to do project works same time. So it helps you to understand more about the theoretical aspects of it, as well as you will understand more how it can be done in the real life and how would a real life problem can be. So this gives you a real life problem experience at the same time. So this is the kind of a difference I would felt. And otherwise I would say IITs is pretty much like too hectic sometimes, too good. Life is good there as well, but I would say just the practical aspect was a little missing in my previous university, and opportunities were a little less though everyone was doing very well, but opportunities were not that great. Even though I am not very sure why this happens, but even though everyone was trying really hard, but opportunities were not there. But in the IITs there are opportunities, and really we can do well. That's
So
I
IITs are
believe
more
that's what.
focused on the research side, if I'm not wrong.
So IIT Hyderabad particularly has a very good motivation towards research, and it has been doing really great in research. I'm not very sure about every new IIT, but old IITs are mostly very good in research, and IIT Hyderabad is providing really a great platform for the people who really want to do research. So that's very good. Yeah. So that's always a plus point. And as I have already told you, so um, the opportunities are more there. The the funding is also more there. So all these things are there. So yes,
Yes, sir.
in a way it's true.
So obviously, my next question would be: is masters in the US better than MTech with respect to India, and like why and how? Can you please elaborate?
Okay, though I am not really the perfect candidate to answer this question, as I have no experience in studies in abroad or anywhere in USA. So but I can just tell you from a little experience of my friends, I would say. So the I think if you'll compare IITs and the coursework at universities abroad, I think it might be almost same, or somewhere here and there, up and down. I don't really know much about it, but what I can tell you is opportunities wise, USA in electronics is definitely very good, and for both digital and analog, you might really find very good domains there. So this happens that opportunities sometimes you can get better in other countries. So yeah, that happens. And when you are doing your masters there, it is definitely you will have more exposure towards industry, because in India sometimes in our institutes we are not really focused more on doing internships. Sometimes in IITs sometimes it happens, but it is also very much I would say it is very much of conditional. It might happen with someone, it might not happen with someone. So yeah, but we focus less on internships in India rather than in US. I feel they focus a lot on industrial internships. So that really makes a difference at the time when you want to get a job. So yes, that makes a difference. But research wise, I feel that India is not really doing India is doing great, but India is not doing really that up to the mark that it can do. So we can really improve upon that part. Yeah, but yeah, we are on the path. We are on the right
Yes,
path.
sir.
Yeah.
We are on the path of semiconductor revolution. So the
Yes.
next
Yes.
question is, sir, while you were an undergrad student, you did your internship from IIC Bangalore, a top premier institute from India.
Right.
Like, what was the exact
Right.
role, and how did you get that opportunity?
Okay. So my role was as an intern. I had to characterize some power electronic devices. They are called as high electron mobility devices, to be exact. And they had to characterize, as well as I had to simulate a little of their characteristics using some tool. And that was the full part, and I had to understand more about their functioning and how they function, and I had to learn about the characterization tools and everything. So this was the part of my job, and to make a report at the end and had to submit it. That's all. And after before that, how did I apply for it? So IIC always has this I think sense, the department was sense where I did my internship. It is a nanoscience department, and it always, I think every year it opens this internship platform. And I think it's not really very old department, so it was pretty new, and they have selected me on the basis of my resume, SOP, statement of purpose, as well as I think CPI, my uh, score that time. So I think these three were the criteria that I have filled in the form. So that was
Yes,
in
sir.
the application.
Sir, having seen your profile, I also observed that you had a very high CGPA in your undergrad and both masters as well. So how did you manage to like juggling the work between like the internship, your gate preparation, and the assignments, curriculum, etc.?
Yeah. So actually, one in my as I was saying in my bachelor's, I was more focused on my theoretical knowledge. So I was kind of trying to learn, and I would share an incident. Actually, I didn't really like electronics in my 12th class. I think there was two chapters. I think one was something about devices, and the other was about communication. I didn't really understand them, so there was a kind of a fear that I had just after entering into bachelor's, that I was a little scared that I have to study these things and for another 4 years. So I was kind of wanted to understand more, and I started trying to understand on my own rather than only depending on the classes. So I was reading on my own as well. So that helped me get a better understanding. So I always wanted to understand, and I was curious to know how these things really work. Though it was sometimes very difficult to really get the grasp of it. But yeah, so that's how I was trying, and I somehow could able to do it. I'm not very
Yes,
sure
sir.
how to really describe it. Yeah,
Because
but
that
just
itself an
few points.
inspiration.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That itself was an inspiration for us. Maintaining high GPA, internship at IISc, and I'm IITian from Hyderabad.
Yeah, well, like I would just say that I had a very good support system as well. So my friends and we used to study together, and yeah, and our faculties are very good at Jamia also, and even at IITs they're the best. So the people are the best, and then if we had any difficulties, we could reach them. And regarding coaching, if you would say, I it actually helped me because I was not really preparing for gate in that way that I have to solve the questions, just the questions, and do have to get the marks. So I was just trying to understand more about the subject, the concepts. I was really that was one problem, and I actually faced is that I didn't really solve so many questions because gate preparation you have to solve for the gate preparation you have to solve so many questions so that you will get the accuracy as well as the speed. So I was more focused on my concepts than the uh, speed and accuracy. So yeah, so you have to get one out of it. So that's one of the things. But I was just a little more concerned about understanding more about the concepts, and let's see how it happens. That's what was my point. Yes.
Yes, sir. So the next question would be, how did you like
Mhm.
get a job opportunity at Envida? Like, was it by the IIT Hyderabad
Yeah.
placement coordination or like the off-campus placement?
Okay. So NVIDIA actually, so yeah, I think NVIDIA had an off-campus drive at that time in during June, sometime last year, 2020, no, last year, 2021. So yes, at that time they had a campus drive, so it was off campus placement. Yeah, so it was an off campus placement. IIT Hyderabad didn't have anything to do particularly about NVIDIA, but TSMC as an offer, actually initially I got it from IIT Hyderabad.
Yeah. Like, can you please explain the detailed interview process, that like the each step of job, like till you got the job, what were the steps, the introductory exam, interviews, and what were the questions asked, and what were the books you referred? It's a big question, but please, sir.
No problem. So let's divide it into steps. So I would try to tell you more about the interview process, what I had went through, so that you can understand more, and then you can ask me questions about the same. So yeah, so regarding the interviews that we had at IIT Hyderabad, so it started like I think you might be aware about the kind of uh, the time period that they have, the timeline when we have interviews in IIT. So we have interviews from the 1st of December till 3 4 days or 5 6 days, and everything gets over within a week mostly. And so third semester we have to third of for me it was fifth semester, but otherwise if it is a 2 year semtech, it is third semester that we have to face the interviews. So for interview preparation, what all I did was the first thing I would say is your basic concepts of digital. That really helps you for the written test. The second would be always comes handy is like your all these programming language and Verilog, if it is hardware description language, and computer knowledge a little like C or C++. These are very good for your written test exams. And after that, there are some few topics that you should study for applying for different profile. So like if you are applying for analog profile, so you should understand more about RLC circuits, op amps, and their basic functionality, MOSFETs, and how do they work. And then you have to go a little more deep into designing an op amp or something like that. But if you're going for a digital role, then you have to understand more about like how the cross domain crossing works, how STA is a very really I would say a domain which every engineer, digital engineer, should know and should have a good grasp on before entering into any industry. So that topic really helps. After that, I think there are some few topics like that. So if one is first in, first out, FIFO stack, and all these things. But these are topics that you have to cover, and then you have to understand something in depth about MOSFETs, because that is the building block of IR electronics, right? And more about its functionality, as well as how things are different from the large nodes at the and the lower nodes, how things are different. So these are the few things that you have to take care of. And I think that was pretty much I have summarized. If I am missing something, I'll
Any
I may
particular
answer your
book you
question.
have referred, sir, or would you suggest the audience
Okay.
to refer?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So for analog, I was referring Behzad Razavi, analog design by Professor Behzad Razavi.
Okay, sir. So that book would be
Yeah.
enough. And for the Verilog, the programming part.
So Verilog actually, particularly Verilog, I didn't really refer to any book as such, but I referred to 2-3 books. As one is, I think, I'm not very sure about the full name of the book, but it's by Professor Bhaskar. I'm not very sure, but I think,
Okay, sir.
and there was some other, yeah, there is some other book which is more like a guide to the synthesizable codes. I'm not really, I cannot recall the name of that book right now. That was the another book, and otherwise we had so many assignments at IIT Hyderabad, so we had to really go and do them, so we could get a grasp of them,
Okay, sir.
grasp of the, yeah. So that was another. And for digital design, yeah. So there is another book for digital design that I have referred to. During my BTech, I have referred Kang and Yusuf. That was the first book where I really liked that book. I mean, and I started. That was the first book from where I entered into VLSI. After that, I in my masters I have referred uh, the another book for digital design, and I'll tell you
Sure,
over
sir.
the
Sure,
period of
sir.
the interview.
We'll drop
Yeah,
the link in the description, the names of the books.
no problem.
That's not a
Yeah,
problem.
thank you.
So the
Thank
next
you.
question, sir,
Mm-hmm.
like, what would you suggest a budding engineer who is in his undergraduate, whether he should pursue the front end or back end? Because that's a major hurdle
Okay.
of decision of young grads.
Okay. So this is the same question I was asking myself like last year, because I had the job at Nvidia in the front end, and right now I am currently a physical design engineer or the backend engineer at TSMC. So I had switched the domains. So actually, I would say personally, I would say if you are undergrad, maybe you might not have that many opportunities to really try both of the domains. But if you're doing masters, definitely do try both of them. And you first have to. I would say personally, I would suggest someone, if someone is really exploring the domain, they should try from the very starting, the RTL design, and then verification using some open source tool, and after then they can try to do any kind of a physical design of the same netlist. And if that is possible, then they will understand more how they like it. So both domains are really very interesting, and I have taste of both of them. So both the domains have their own challenges. Both the domains are really great. So there, it is no way I can tell it is anything is better or worse. But yeah, I can just say it something can work for someone, something might not work for other. So they should try, I would say, if they are really interested in both of them, and then they will get to know what they like more. That's
So
what my
hands-on
answer would be.
experience matters.
Yes, and for any industry, it would be definitely helpful to understand how would you take it.
So the next question, sir, there's always a
Mm-hmm.
complaint from the student community that there's no linkage of what is being taught in the class and what the industry expects. How did you address the issue, and what are your suggestions to the student faculty members?
Okay. So, yeah, that's a very good point you brought up. So, what happens is in the industry, we have very particular skill set that we need, right? So, when we go to industry, a company, they do invest a lot of time and energy in you so that you can learn, right? If you are already have invested in yourself and learned so many skills, then it's very easy for even them and for you to grasp and ramp up. So I would definitely say there are some practical aspects of industry that we lack in the education. There are some scripting languages that we don't really study. There are things like some colleges, I would say, might not even have the practical aspects of VLSI. One actually possible reason for this is these things are not really commonly available until now, because after open source softwares are available, it's very easy to really do things at a small scale. But otherwise, these are high end softwares, high end tools. Um, and they are mostly by Synopsys and Cadence, so they are highly, really very expensive for an institute to have. So it can be one thing. But yeah, so the thing is, if someone can really understand more about the skills that they really will need in future, that will definitely help, and the faculty members can motivate their students to learn the same. So it goes both ways. If the students will ask the faculty uh, as a feedback, and faculty motivates the student, so it goes in that way, I would say. So do you have any particular question about this? Something which is very
Nothing, sir. I
specific,
think
or
you
does it answer
answered
it?
almost everything. What the student and faculty
Okay.
must learn, and especially the focus must be on students. Their will to learn must be
Right.
higher. That alone can
Yes.
guarantee something like
And
this.
just one thing can be to now, right now is a good time to start learning more about open source tools, so that because they are free and anyone can use them. And I think that's the catch, and that's the key. We can really hold on and uh, move forward.
Okay, sir. So, sir, can you please say a few words to our audience in the YouTube about the VLSI for All
Mm-hmm.
channel and its initiative to bring VLSI and the semiconductor industry at a reasonable rate?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So it's a really good initiative, first of all, and congratulations to all of you and the team. And I definitely, as I understand that you people are working really hard for educating people about VLSI, a domain unheard, and working in silent for everything happening in the in the world. So a domain without which the world really will not exist as the same as it is today. So definitely, it's a great initiative, and I heartily congratulate every one of you uh, from my side. And just one thing I would really suggest is that the more specific topics, if you'll bring up, I think people will be really going to grasp, and people will definitely will like to be there for you. Uh, and I think you are doing a good job.
Thank you,
I
sir.
really don't have any more words to say. Yeah, but you are, guys are doing well. And I just want to I'll want to ask you one thing. Maybe it will help your audience to understand. So, what are the services VLSI for All provides other than the YouTube videos?
VLSI for All basically provides the the preparation for like both front end and back end, like from scratch. Even if a person who didn't
Mhm.
study electronic at anything, will be guaranteeing him from scratch to the advanced level. Advanced when I mean to say that till where the company expects. for both front end and back end. Along with that, we have like 2 premium courses for the RTL design verification course and um, the referrals batch. We call it a referrals batch, wherein we from our company like put your resume after thorough like scrutiny and test to the company persons, wherein they hire directly from us. So that would be a gateway for the VLSI people or the electronics engineers as such for the community, because most of the colleges, like what we've seen is that they can only access till the IT companies. Most of the undergrad and master's colleges in India have access only till the IT and computer science. Whereas for any machine to run, the electronics engineers are the base. So we strive to provide quality electronic engineers to the companies at an affordable price.
That's very nice. Yeah,
yes,
that's
sir.
very great. That's a really great job, and I would really appreciate you, all of you, and you're doing really great. Yeah,
thanks a lot,
and
sir.
yeah, keep it up.
Thanks a lot,
keep
sir.
doing
Thanks
it.
a lot. So, sir, we are at the end of the interview session. Before wrapping up the interview, could you please give some motivational tips to our viewers so that after watching this, they can at least push a bit higher to their level and work harder?
Yeah. Yeah, so just I would just say one point. So VLSI is something everyone might not really know about, but it is something everyone need right now. If you have a phone, you have someone worked for you. Being a VLSI engineer, someone has been there for you, who have worked for you. So it is some you have to think, if you really want to be a VLSI engineer, that I really want to drive the world, because right now VLSI engineering actually is at the really very interesting phase where we are having a transition from nanometers to angstroms. So I am not very sure what's the next thing coming up, and the innovation is really here. So this is the place which is challenging as well as motivating as well as rewarding, where you will find definitely all kind of problems, definitely all kind of rewards. It's the one of the really great domains you can work on, and future is very bright if you really work hard right now. It might be as I can see, Taiwan as a country is doing really great in electronics, and its economy is mostly dependent upon in electronics. Because of electronics, it's doing really great. So if we do that same in India, somehow it would be again a shining future for India and anyone for
One
that
more
matter.
last question, sir. Sorry for that. One last
No
question is that
problem.
like what is your like how is your work different like from what you worked at NVIDIA and now currently at the TSMC? And where do you currently work? It's in like South Korea or in India?
Oh no, I am not working in South Korea right now. I am working in currently placed at Taiwan. So it's
Okay.
TSMC Taiwan, headquarters
Yes, sir.
of TSMC.
Oh,
Yeah, and how my work is different in both the companies is, so I was working as a design verification engineer at NVIDIA, and here I'm working as physical design engineer in TSMC. In design verification, it's a front end role where I have let's say if someone has designed a RTL netlist, and then I'll have to verify it and I have to find the bugs, and then I'll have to think of the scenarios how it can be debugged, right? And now in physical design, we have the full flow from the RTL till from the synthesized netlist to the GDS. So that's the initial for period I have worked as a front end engineer, and now I'm working as a back end engineer. Yeah.
yes, sir.
And then while working for NVIDIA, it was India, and now I moved to Taiwan, TSMC. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was indeed great talking to you, sir. As an engineer myself,
Same
I feel
here.
that many jigsaw puzzles in my mind, which have been there since a long time, have been clarified. Hope to see you on yet another episode of our YouTube channel. Until then, goodbye, sir.
Yeah.
And for the audience,
Bye-bye.
study
Thank
harder
you.
and take care. COVID is back. Signing off. This is Anurag. Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye.